All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Algebra 2. It's our first lesson. So what you're going to want to do is take notes on these recordings. This is about my third time recording this, so hopefully it works well this time and I don't have to do it again. Our first section of the notes is 1-1 exploring transformations. A transformation is the change in position, size, or shape of the figure. Our first type of transformation is called a translation. This is a slide or a transformation that moves each point in a figure the same distance in the same direction. Think, for instance, of a chessboard. If I'm playing chess, then my pieces move. As you know, with pawns can only move left and right. My starting move could be over 2. This one would be over 2 as well. But those didn't move the same direction, they moved opposite directions. Then if I wanted to actually wipe a pawn out, now it's where my chess starts to get a little limited here. I believe I have to go diagonal. Now you'll notice that whenever I move this piece, the entire piece moves. The top, the bottom, the middle. It all moves together. That's the same way with translations whenever we are doing it in algebra. So everything's going to move together. When you translate left or right, the x-coordinate changes. When you translate up or down, the y-coordinate changes. So we made this little table to figure out how everything will shift. Now you'll notice that I went kind of fast there. Even though I moved through that top part fast, you can pause the video and write down what you need to. So don't feel like you can't pause the video. You can stop the class anytime you want. That's the one advantage to this system. Okay, so for translations, a horizontal translation, each point shifts either right or left by a certain number of units. For a vertical translation, it shifts up or down by a certain number of units. When we're doing horizontal translations, the x-coordinate is always changing. When we do vertical translations, the y-coordinate is changing. As I look at my x-coordinate changes, if I start with the point 1, 2, the x-coordinate is the first one. I'm sure you've learned that by now. The y-coordinate is the second one. This is translating our x-coordinate, so we know that it is a horizontal translation. If we look over here, it's our y-coordinate that's changing, which tells us that it's a vertical translation. Now, whenever I look at this, I can tell whether it's going to go left or right based on the number that's either being added or subtracted. If I'm looking at my horizontal, this is a +3. H is greater than 0, so we're going to go left. We're going to go right. If H is less than 0 or a negative number, we go left. So because this is moving +3, we're going to go right 3 units. If I look at my grid down here, and I start with the point 1, 2, and go right 3 units, there's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to end here. Now, if I look at that, that's probably not exactly on 4-2, but I can show you that it's 4-2 by writing my number in. If I don't write that coordinate in, then you might think I went 4.1, or that I went over to 4.2, or maybe up to 2.1. By writing that number in, you're going to help me know that you did it exactly perfect, and there's going to be no issues. If I look at this second one, or the vertical translation here, I'm starting at 1, 2, If k is greater than 0, or the number that's being added to y is greater than 0, then it goes up. Because this is a positive number being added, it's going to go up. It would only go down if that was negative. So I'm going up 2, so this new point would become 1, 4. Now I can draw that in on my grid. I'm staying at 1, and I'm going up to 4. Now comes the question, do you think there's any possible way that I could do both a vertical and horizontal translation? Well, of course there is. We don't just move a pawn or a chess pieces one straight direction across. If you look back to our chess example, once I have the queen freed up, I can move her as many as I want this direction, or I can move her diagonally. A diagonal is a vertical and horizontal translation. So now we're going to go through this example and perform the given translation. I will tell you that the majority of my notes are going to be in this format. I'll start the actual examples by going ahead and doing the question for you, showing you the exact way to do it. Once I've done it, I'll let you do an example on your own. Whenever you have this opportunity to do the example on your own, you're going to be tempted to just pause the video or to just watch me do it on the video. What you should do is pause the video and try it on your own. You'll find that if you use this learning style correctly, it's going to be much easier on tests and exams for you. So I can't stress how important it is for you to pause on the second example and try to do it on your own. Okay. Now we have this point, -1, 3. It's asking us to give the coordinates of the translated points. There's a couple different ways I can look at this. The first one is to see that it says 4 units of right. Because it's moving to the right, I know that it's going to be a positive. So I'm going to take my x-coordinate, which is -1, and add 4 to it. What would happen with my y-coordinate? It's going to stay 3, because I'm not doing any vertical translation, simply because it didn't tell me to. So now, -1 plus 4 gives me 3. 3 stays the same. This is my point. It's just now 3, 3. And I'm done. Let's go through this one together. I'm taking the same starting point, and I'm going 1 unit to the left. This is left, and means I subtract 1. Then I'm going 2 units down. Since it's down, I subtract 2. Now I do -1 minus 1, which is -2, and 3 minus 2, which is 1. That's my point. Now, if you're struggling with this concept, it is possible to do this all on a graph. I can start with my point, -1, 3. I'm just going to do a rudimentary grid here, -1, 3. Oh, that one's off a little bit. I think it's in the same spot. But, once again, if I write it in, I know exactly what that point's supposed to be. So I'm at -1, 3. and I'm moving it 4 units to the right. So I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when I look at this, I see that I'm at 3 and 3. Likewise, I could do the same thing with my second part of the example, which was moving 1 unit left and 2 units down. If I start here at this point, I go 1 left and down 2. It takes me to -2, 1. And so you have 2 different ways to come up with the same answers. The first way is much more compact to me. It's easier to do as long as I think about which direction I'm moving my points, right or left, or up or down. Okay, here's the example I want you to try on your own. You're given the point -6, 8, and you have to get the coordinates at the translated point. Now you're going to pause the video and try to do this one on your own. Since I know you all paused the video, I'm going to go ahead and do it on the board now. Start at -6, and I go left 7 units. That means I'm going to subtract 7. I start at the point 8, and I move up 2. Since it's up, I add 2. -6 minus 7 is -13. 8 plus 2 is 10. I have the point -13, 10. Part B, I'm moving this point to the right 1 unit. -6 plus 1 and 6 units down. So that's 8 minus 6. If I'm going right, I add. Since I go down, I subtract. -6 plus 1 gives me -5. 8 minus 6 is 2. So I have the point -5, 2 now. If I wanted to check my work, I could scroll down and plot my original point. -6, 8 would be here. So that would be my point -6, 8. Go 7 units left. That means I have to continue my lines over. So it's -7, 8, 13. So I went 7 units left. And then down 2 from this point. So I'm going to come down from 8 to 6. Or I think it was up 2. Up 2 from that point. So I come back to -13 and up 2. That's going to give me my same point I had previously graphed. Okay, tomorrow we will start going through reflections. Tonight you will have your first homework assignment. This homework assignment, remember, you have 3 days to do it. So because it's being assigned on Wednesday, you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It'll be due at 11:59 on Friday. 11:59 p.m. that is. So, since it's due at 11:59 on Friday, it means you have time to do it. I would do it right away. The sooner you do these assignments, the easier they're going to be for you. Okay, good luck. And if you have any questions, be sure to come on to the Google Meet tomorrow so you can get those questions asked.